I guarantee you haven't heard of this dungeon crawler. I hadn't heard of this dungeon crawler, and it's one of my favorite genres. You may have played Chimera's older brother, StarCrawlers, but Chimera has all of the fun of a group crawler set into one character. I really wish more people had heard of this game, or bought it. The Steam page only has 41 reviews, and it's been out for almost a year to date. If I had to gamble, I would bet by the time you're watching this, it might be on sale for its anniversary release. The story is simple. You are a contract mercenary, hired by a mysterious client for a job so lucrative, you can afford to retire early. You will be ascending the floors of a megacorp to find a Dr. Cerberus and to end his life. It's all very cyberpunk. Neon and robots everywhere. The gameplay is your standard dungeon crawl roguelike, with various skill trees, abilities, consumables, and weapons galore. The controls are instantly recognizable if you're an enjoyer of crawlers, but may be challenging for those who are new to the genre. You start each run by selecting 7 skill trees for your run, and choosing your difficulty. The standard difficulty is a kick in the balls, and I wouldn't recommend going any higher until you're deeply familiar with the game's mechanics. Each time you level up, you are awarded skill points to immediately unlock the next step in any of your skill trees. Certain abilities can be upgraded further with perk points. These take the form of physical items found in the game world, and they can also be obtained from defeating elite enemies, but they are rare, so careful planning is required. Navigating the building is pretty standard crawling. You move in all 4 cardinal directions and can turn your character. There is controller support, but I highly advise against this, as it just does not feel very good. The option is nice though, maybe for someone with a disability or the tenacity to get accustomed to it. I found myself free aiming my character and moving forward more than anything, as this just felt more natural, and blind stepping in a crawler is usually not a good idea. Each floor has a unique theme, which really kept the crawling interesting, especially after dying on so many permadeath runs. Permadeath is not mandatory, but I have become accustomed to the torture by now. There's a dimensional portal to your hideout that you can use outside of combat. This takes you to a safe area with access to your stash. The stash can be used to store items that aren't useful to your character, but don't want to sell, and can be transferred among all of the characters you create. It took me a little while to understand what each stat actually affects, since some of them are named unconventionally. Recognition is now a fancy word for perception, and so on. I really don't have a lot of gripes about this game. This really hit the niche gaming spot I had been craving for a long time. Sci-fi, roguelike, traditional turn-based dungeon crawler. It checks off so many of my favorite genres that I'm obligated to be a little more lenient in my criticisms. During your exploration, you will come across what I call quest boxes. These have a message from your employer and can give you additional objectives on the current floor. These can range from fetch, kill, and later in the runs become more complex without spoiling anything. I've had difficulty finding skill trees that I've enjoyed, but the skill tree Rogue Modder is incredibly strong, and I would almost say it's mandatory. Being able to re-roll equipment and make every piece of gear you find instantly better for no cost is so incredibly useful that it would be a handicap if it's not taken. Stealth isn't as useful as I thought it would be though. Enemies later in a run become too tanky to one-shot. Ranged weapons such as pistols or rifles use the same ammo. You equip it to your character like you would a quiver in a high fantasy game. There are tons of ammo options, and anything other than the standard ammo deals elemental damage. Loot rarity has 5 tiers: legendary, epic, rare, uncommon, and common. Legendary weapons and armor have different suffix rolls, with a larger skill increase and variations. The replayability is high. I have been constantly searching for the perfect setup to get me through all of the game's floors in a single permadeath run. I haven't found it yet, but I'm getting close. I bought this game on a whim for $20, and easily sank 20 hours into it over my weekend. It's a solid purchase. If you like any one of the tags included in the game's genre, go check it out. My channel is really small, and besides the shorts, I put a ton of effort into these videos, so subscribing or engaging with the video in any way really helps me out. Is there a game you would like to hear me talk about? Tell me about it in the comments. Thanks for watching.